Hello guys, Sujara speaking. Welcome to Bedtime Stories, episode number 746. Today we do the Muppet Christmas Carol Inside Editions. So let's read out and show it. So we got for us. It's illustrated holiday classic written by Brooke Vertel, illustrated by Luke Flowers. Here we go. Published by Inside Editions. So here we go. It's copyright. It's not copyrighted, but we have a copyright screen. But anyway, let's move on. Hello, welcome to Muppets Christmas Carol. My name is Charles Dickens. Okay, and I'm Mr. the Rat. Hey, wait a second. You're not Charles Dickens. You fake? Anyways, I am too. I know the story of Christmas Carol. Like the back of my head. Prove it. There's a little mole in my phone, man. No, not your head. Tell us a story. Exactly. Thank you. Anyways, the Marys were dead to begin with, as dead as a doornail. Exactly. In life. And the Marys have been business partners with the man named Ebenezer Scrooge. Now you're telling me. It kind of makes sense anyway, so there you go on that. Next page. Anyways, come on. Anyways, Scrooge was cold, greedy, and unkind. His only care in life was making money. Inside his office, Scrooge, bookkeeper, shivered. They needed more coal to put out the fire. Okay? But Scrooge was not in a good giving mood. Wow, scary enough. Not even on Christmas Eve. Wow. However, Christmas was a time of joy, laughter, and charity, yet Scrooge hated the holiday. Christmas, bah, humbug. Wow. After Scrooge left in his office for the evening, the mood brightened. His clerk, Bob Cratchit, and the bookkeepers, Mary closed up the shop. They were all looking forward to the Christmas holiday. Yeah, you're telling me, Bob Cratchit. Better was Kermit the Frog, that is. It kind of makes sense anyway, so there you go on that. Next page. Anyways, Anyway. Outside, the streets were, filled with the joys of the season. The penguins are hosting their annual figure skating party. Bob had to give it a try. Gotta at least do something about it. But anyway, after the turn of the ice, Bob bid goodnight to the penguins. Looking up the moon, he smiled. It was time to go home to his family. Makes sense anyway, the Muppets Christmas Carol type. And anyways, there you go. And anyway, next page. Anyways, elsewhere in the city, Scrooge approaching his own home, which had once belonged to his partners, Jacob Robert Marley. Bob Marley, that is joking anyway. Now, once again, I must ask you to remember that Marleys weren't dead. Rest in peace to them, by the way. That one thing you must remember are nothing that fall was seemed wondrous. Okay, misspoke anyway. Something wrong with my mustache. Anyway, as Scrooge went to open his door, a cold wind began to blow. Wow. Suddenly the door knocker transformed into a face of Jacob Marley. Wow. Okay. Scrooge climbed out of the shop, but when he looked again, the knocker had returned to normal. Gotta make sense anyway. Shaking Scrooge went inside. He dreamed for bed and settled down next to the fire. Okay. Suddenly he simply imagined the face of his departed partner. Tell me. Scrooge sat staring in the flames. Fire went out. The spirits of Jacob and Robert Marley appeared. Tell me. So there you go. It can happen anyway. So it makes more sense anyway. Next page. Anyways, the Marleys show Scrooge the change they earn, but there are many acts and agreed in life. Marley howled and danced about the room, some of that. They issued Scrooge a warrant. Scrooge did not change his ways. He he would end up like that. Exactly. You gotta do something, you know? Anyways, the Marleys told Scrooge that he would be haunted by free spirits. Only with the help of free spirits could be change his life. Then he changed his life. Fate. Excuse me, God. Wow. Then when Father Redfall and the change, the Marleys vanish. Wow. Wow. Scary, I know. It can easily crept up in any way. So there you go. Next page. Anyways, the Marleys visit left Scrooge, deeply unsettled. Wow. He lit a candle to warm up in the darkness and got into bed. When the clock chimed 1, Scrooge woke to the bright light filling his robe. He drew back to his bed curtains, flown by his bed, the childlike spirit. I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Told me. It was okay. The spirit told Scrooge that she had come to save him from the Marleys. Terrible fate. You gotta at least do something about that. But anyway, she offered Scrooge her hand and guessed the wonder world outside. He suddenly opened window. Scrooge hastily leaped into the thin air. The spirits assured him that he would be safe. He took her hand, and they fell out of the window into the past. Hello, London. Goodbye, lunch. Yeah, I felt sorry for you, Rizzo. Come on, man. You gotta do something than that. So, be nice. Do something for once. Will ya? Next page, always. Soon they arrived at Scrooge's childhood. Scrooge recognized the place at once. It was his old school, and there was his younger self. It was Christmas Eve here as well. And around, happy children were preparing to go home for the holidays. But young Scrooge had nowhere to go. No family to return to. He had spent the holiday at school alone. Wow. Okay, now time moved forward and Scrooge found himself back in London. Once again, it was Christmas Eve. And the vampires were playing the Troy. Wow, scary I know. Hey, light the lamp. Not the rat. Exactly, thank you. Light the lamp, not the rat. Ah, jeez, it's scary I know. Spirit had brought Scrooge to the side of his first job. Old Fozziwig's rubber chicken factory, riot laughter poured from the building. It was Fozziwig's annual Christmas party. Scrooge exclaimed. Well, you gotta at least do something anyway. We'll have to at least do something, so there you go on that. Next page. Anyways, oh, wow. Scrooge rushed inside. The factory was full of music and merriment. Everyone was to join the party, except young Scrooge. Oh, jeez. Anyways, who was fretting over the comedy's vanities. Wow, this is a scary moment anyway for Muppets like this. You know. Next page. Anyways, at the party, Scrooge watched his younger self was introduced to a beautiful girl named Belle. Beauty and the Beast difference, ladies and gentlemen. It was love at first sight. Scrooge knew that was the phenomenal only Christmas he had ever spent with Belle. Wow. Time moved forward again. Oh jeez, here we go. Tears filled Scrooge's eyes as he watched Belle till his younger self that felt he claimed to have loved her. He had chosen money over her one too many times. Oh jeez, how are we gonna about that? She couldn't marry him. I felt worried, you know? Scrooge begged the spirit to show him no more. Crying to his hands, Scrooge sank to the floor. The spirit in the past began to fade. When Scrooge looked up again, he was alone in his bedroom. I felt sorry for Scrooge, you know? You need to do something for the marriage, you know? And that solid marriage need to do something. See? Next page. Anyways, Scrooge returned to bed, but he didn't sleep. A short while later, the clock struck 2. The light is music filled the room. A cherry face appeared in the doorway. I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Come in, what? No be better, man. Scrooge got out of the bed. Scrooge's second spirit was so filled and joy around that Scrooge couldn't help but smile. But a small fade of the spirit began to talk about the wonders of Christmas. Scrooge had never understood why the people love Christmas so much. Before the day is over, you shall, said the spirit. You gotta do something, Scrooge. So you gotta do something. It's beginning to look like Christmas from the movie Muppet Christmas Carol. It's singing I don't know what it was, but you know. Anyway, next page. Anyways, move on. The spirit had led Scrooge in the streets of London. Scrooge watched as people greeted each other warmly, sang carols together and exchanged gifts. The first time in his life, Scrooge began to understand that Christmas was a time for sharing love. In spite of himself, he began to have fun. Yeah, what I thought, you know. Gotta do something about that anyway. Anyways, next page. Anyways, come on, move. Anyway. Next, the spirit brought Scrooge to his house of Bob Cratchit. Scrooge Bob was just arriving home to the church with his son, a small frail child named Tiny Tim. Goose, they're cooking goose down here? There? Wow, this is difficult enough. Scrooge watches Bob's wife and children rush to greet him. You could see that what the family lacked in money, they made up for the love with love. Wow, this is too much difficult enough. As the Cratchits sat down for dinner, Bob offered the toast to Scrooge. Mrs. Cratchit of, I suppose, on the best day of children. Wow, okay. Best day of Christmas, remember? Once more straight to the health of Mr. Scrooge. Mr. Scrooge, even though he is stingy, wicked, unfeeling, and badly dressed, Tiny Tim embraces grass. God blesses everyone. Gotta make more sense anyways. There you go. It can happen anyway. For Kermit's sakes, you know. Next page. Anyways, and shameful Scrooge at the thought how poorly he treated Bob. The family had so ill, and Tiny Tim was clearly very sick. I felt difficult times anyway. Now, Spirit told me it was Tiny Tim would get better. Get well, Tiny Tim. But the Spirit could not see the future. The Spirit's time would be the present. And that time was coming to an end. Scrooge begged the Spirit to stay. The gentle ghosts have started to fade. Okay? Soon the Spirit will vanish while the crashes build loving home. Oh jeez. Anyways, Scrooge found himself alone in the graveyard. Really? Anyways, mist that filled the graveyard and the ghosts of Christmas yet to come appear. The first spirit scared Scrooge, but Scrooge had learned so much from the previous spirits. He was ready to learn more. Lead on, spirit. Yeah, exactly. This is too scary. I don't think that I want to see it anymore. Well, you're right. You're right. Your folks are on your, we'll meet you in the finale. Yeah. You know, it's just like, come back here. You need to do something like, I saw the video on YouTube which I watch. You know, it kind of make more difference than that in any way. Because I want to make more, finale, schmally. You gotta do something about that. Anyway, next page. Anyways, in the future, Scrooge listened to several street folks merrily discussing a funeral. Why? Anyways, he watches a mysterious dead man's belongings was given away. Fear creeps into Scrooge's heart. Well, Scrooge has heard no name. He felt he recognized the dead man's face. Next, the spirit brought him to Cratchit's house. Everything had changed, but what the once joy of family was now filled with grief. Wow. Scrooge understands that the worst have happened. Tiny Tim has not gotten better. Passed away, Jesus. How else you can help out, you know? Makes sense in difficult times anyway. Next page. Anyways, back in the graveyard, Scrooge barely asked the spirit who stepped across the street to focus such merriment. Wiping his hand, the spirit pointed to the gravestone. Lovely Scrooge approached the stone and killing him in front of it. With shaking hands, he wiped away the frost. Jesus, how's it gonna help out anyway? At the sight of his name, Scrooge burst into tears. "Oh, spirit, no," he cried. "Please, I'm a changed man." Begging him for a second chance, Scrooge fell on his knees. "You're a changed man, alright? You gotta be happy, you know? It's not sad at the same time about Christmas. Come on, man." Oh, we're almost done here, but we need to do something. Anyway. And into his own bed, Scrooge looked up and he was back in his bedroom. "I'm home. It's a miracle." "Thank you." Anyways, joyfully Scrooge was there, opened his window. "You there, boy? What's today?" "Today is Christmas Day." "I don't know. Today, it's Christmas Day." Told me. Scrooge couldn't believe it. He's been given a second chance to show the world he was a changed man. Anyways, filled with gratitude, he decided to surprise the crowd with a delicious Christmas dinner. Oh yeah, hang on. "Hi guys, we're back. Do you think it's safe for us to be up there?" "You tell me." "Scrooge is safe. What did you get up and now?" "Okay." Makes sense anyway. I just messed the pages like that, but you gotta make more sense anyway. So there you go. Anyways, we'll finish up the pages almost done in these pages. Well, when we come back after these commercial breaks. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Bedtime Stories, episode number 746. I just came back to see what's happened in the past Bedtime Stories episodes. And unfortunately, there are two books that I reread during the holidays. And I put them in the shelf somewhere, and then I watched Rudolph. During that time frame on NBC. Anyways, let's finish off the book right now, shall we? So we got for us. Anyways, Scrooge made his way through the city, giving gifts and smiles to all his pass, okay? His joy was contagious, sorry. As he soon found himself followed by a huge crowd of merrymakers. Well, okay. Soon Scrooge arrived at Cratchit's house. He gestured to the crowd to hide and then knocked on the Cratchit's door. Wow. Kinda makes sense anyway. So there you go on that. It can happen anyway. So, it makes sense. Next page. Anyways, and wow. The Cratchit opened the door and to find Scrooge scrolling his doorstep. They thought Bob's boss had to come to yell at him. Oh jeez. For him missing work on Christmas Day. Miss Cratchit couldn't hold back. Jumped in from front of her husband, ready to give Scrooge a piece of her mind. Really, dude? Anyways, she stopped when she saw the crowd of merry-go-rounders or something like that. Standing behind Scrooge, their hands full of more presents and food than she or Bob haven't seen, something like that. Scrooge stepped forward, scoring a smile in his face, and with that, "Bob Cratchit, would you and your family care to join us for a lovely little turkey dinner on this fine Christmas Day?" Gotta make sense anyway, so there you go. It can happen. And the last page, there are 2 pages of the book. Anyways, from the day on, Scrooge became as good as a friend, as good as a boss. My dad, anyway, as good as a man in London ever had. The tiny Tim who did great, good, bad. Scrooge became like a second father. Wow, good job. And we always said The Scrooge renews keep this Christmas as well. So the sign symbol 3rd. God blesses everyone. The end. And these are making more sense, so it can happen anyway. So there you go. And that's the story of that thing. And the last page says this. Copyright 2019 by Disney, all reserved. And it's about, and find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Inside Editions. Follow us on Twitter at Inside Editions. For now it's X, by the way. And published by Inside Editions, San Diego, California, 2019. And publishers Rafael Gajov. President is J. Jerome. Executive producer is Vanessa Lopez. Creative director is Chrissy Walsmith, when that pronounced it, sorry. Editor is Harry Van Brock. Okay. Producer assistant is Grabby Rancor. Managing editor is Ron Bryce, when that. Production editor is Jennifer Banham, some of that. It's a lot of it that goes on here. Illustrated by Luke Flowers. The part of this book may be produced on any form tour without written permission to the publisher. With the Congress catalog in, publication data available. I'm not going to read the provision of this big. No. Now, see here, it's Gonzo and Rizzo and everything else in this book. So that was Muppets Christmas Carol Inside Editions edition. What do you think about this book? It was amazing. So far, this book was a success. Velo's Bedtime Stories, it was a 736. Hope you enjoyed that. Stay there's going to be a Bedtime Stories episode 747, which will be about Merry Christmas, Mom and Dad. Little critters with leaves. Bonus and stickers inside. Now, my excuse me, I'm going to edit this Bedtime Stories episode. And after this, I'm going to upload these 2 videos. And I get ready for bed. Because after this is over, I'm going to go ahead and do some bowling. And celebrate Nathan's birthday party at the Jalapenos. Because after this is over, I'm going to do some Elgin work for you guys. So, there you go. And just a reminder, there will not be a lunchtime episode tomorrow nor Sunday. But there will be one on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not sure what it'll be about anything yet, but we'll figure this out. Till next time, suggest my baby, Susan out. See ya.